for joining me today. Today's video is actually another installment for Nate's Art Lab collab that is with Nate Bright Art. And if you don't follow him, be sure and go on over to his channel and follow him. Nate challenged us this month to do a monochromatic pour, which means that you use one color in different tones. He also said we could use black or white, so I'm using white, and I'm using the white to create those different shades. So what I am using today is Prussian Blue Hue by Liquitex. So I'm gonna do a cloud today, but I'm gonna do a different kind of cloud than I usually do. I am going to put my cloud mix in my colors. So to achieve the different tones of blue, I'm adding the white cloud mix to that. So what I am adding is Artist Loft Soft Body White and my DecoArt Satin Enamels. And my recipes for that are going to be right down there in my description box. And while you're down there, be sure to give me that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I also want to tell you guys today about my new spinner. I am so excited for this, guys. This is the new spinner from, well, new to me spinner from Erica Hughes. I've had it for a little bit and I've been saving it for the right occasion. Today's the day. I love that it is part of a system. So you have your spinner here. Then you have these bars that you can put on to use a bigger canvas. She also has these clips that you can put on that hold your canvas in place, which is super awesome. You can take these bars off, add in this little center guy here with these extender arms, and you can get it even bigger. So it comes with several arms on there, and you can make it hold a bigger canvas, and then you just put your clip on there to hold it in place. You don't have to use the clip. It's just a safety mechanism for you to ensure that your canvas doesn't go flying. But I cannot tell you how much I love a good spinner, and I love that this one has got a low profile. It is low to the table. I think that's going to work nicely. It's not going to throw paint as far. So I am a little OCD, and I'm gonna have to cover this baby up with some press and seal. I know some of you are like me and would probably do the same. Some of you would just let paint get all over it, and that's what it's made for. So if that's you, then I say go for it. It makes me kind of start twinging and having a tick. So I need to cover this with my press and seal before we get started. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have my spinner all covered in my press and seal, and I did some of the edges just with a little painter's tape so it stayed on a little bit better, I am going to get my canvas here. This is a 14 by 14 canvas. So now I've got my canvas on. I have got it centered. I put these little clips on so that when I spin, it doesn't go flying anywhere. Okay, I'm going to cover my canvas here, and I'm going to use my base paint, which is going to be the Prussian Blue with nothing mixed in with it except Floetrol. So I've got 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol, and made my base coat with that. You can thin with water to get to this consistency that you want. So I'm gonna put that down and we'll be right back with it. Okay, now I've got my paint spread out on my canvas. And again, that was just Prussian Blue mixed with 2 parts Floetrol. And then I thinned it just a little bit so that it was to the consistency that mounted just a little bit and disappeared. Just not too thick, not thick like a bloom. Oh, I'm loving the spinner. Okay, so I kept a little bit of my base coat And I've got it here in my measuring cup that I'm going to pour from. And it's been a long time since I've done this kind of pour, so you guys just bear with me. We're gonna see if I still remember how to do this. I bet it's been a year, but I put some of that in there, and what we're going to do is we are going to, what do they call it? A dirty pour, where we just pour into the cup and it kind of churns around in there. So we're gonna do that with our colors today. Instead of layering like I do in my other clouds, this is the way we're gonna do it. I'm going to pour in, starting at my darkest color, and I'm gonna pour high so that it's gonna go down in and it's gonna kind of churn a little bit in there. So starting high, pour, let it go in. And normally you should probably have these measured out. I figured I'd be doing a couple pours today, so I didn't put it in smaller cups. So I am eyeballing on these. Okay, this is my pigment. This is Sapphire. I'm not putting as much of that as I do my regular colors. Now I'm going to do the Taffy. Oh gosh, this one is so pretty. Okay, high up. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Then we're gonna do our lightest color. High up. Awesome. Take my base coat and pour it over the top so that everything has a chance to react with the base, which I believe is what Gina DeLuca always says. So I'm gonna take it and just pour it over the top here. Oh, you know what? I think I grabbed the wrong cup. I think this is a different color blue than my base, but it may be fine. Give it a different tone. No, it's not. That's it. That's Prussian Blue. So hopefully today we are going to pour into the center. I'm going to slightly spin this. We're going to take this guy on its inaugural run, and hopefully everything goes well, stays in the center, turns out beautiful. If it doesn't, we'll have it off center. Still hope it turns out beautiful, but we'll see. Let's see if I've got shaky coffee hands today. Okay, colors, come on. Ooh, I think I saw a little Floetrol booger in there. That's not good. Now I am kind of going in a circular motion. You don't have to do that. I just tend to do that at the end. I like the spiral look. I think I went a little long on that, so I kind of have this, I call it a sea snake look. I kind of wish I hadn't done that, but you know, guys, it's done now. We're gonna have to go with it. I want to fix that in the center. Oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. Yeah, not making that any better. I like to let these sit for a minute. Sometimes I will go refill my coffee. Love my coffee. And I like it just to sit here and hang out for a bit. I'm going to take the air bubbles out. Now normally, when I do a cloud, I try not to torch. I hate bubbles. I hate all that. But in this style, I think it looks better to do it this way. This is just a different look of the cloud pour when you're putting it in all the paints. So I will torch. And we're going to hope all those little freckles turn into something cute. Oh, that center is killing me, guys. That's a little better, still not great. You win some, you lose some. I lost it on that center. So you can tell here by what's happening is that this spinner is very level. I love that. Thank you, Erica Hughes, for a spinner that's very level. The reason that we've got it going kind of wonky is user error. It's me. But the spinner is, I'm really digging it. So we're going to continue to let this kind of develop and bloom, as I call it. And I'm going to refill that coffee we talked about a second ago. Then we're going to come back and we're going to spin it out. Okay, guys, I've walked away. I had some coffee and washed out a cup. And I am going to get ready to spin this. I'm trying to decide if I want a little more flow extender on my ends here. Probably so. You know what? Let's see what happens if I'm going to take and kind of pull the edges out. And this paint is pretty thick, so it's going to move a lot slower. And while I'm saying that, let me show you guys the consistency that I'm working with. I think you can probably see it better in this lighter color. So can you see there the consistency? It mounds but dissipates pretty quickly. Let's start spinning her out and see if I'm going to need to add any more flow extender. You do not need to spin fast. You do not need to send paint flying all over your art studio. Slow and steady. As I always say, this is not Wheel of Fortune or Price is Right. We are just going to slowly give it a whirl. You can see where it's already expanding, and I didn't even spin that fast. So I'm going to give it another spin. And it looks like some of my little pebbles are turning into boulders. They're getting a little bit larger. still have a kind of a funky stitch there, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. I can really see like through here, we're gonna get some of that sapphire. When it dries, it's gonna be really pretty. And up through here, I see, what was the other Piggy we used? Taffy. I see taffy right through here. It's gonna be really gorgeous. I'm gonna spin the other direction. I honestly don't know if it makes a difference, but it makes me feel a little bit better. One thing that you will notice is as I'm spinning and we're getting that excess paint off, because I'm spinning slow and because this spinner is so low to the table, it's not high up like a cake stand is, it's not splattering very far at all. I mean, you can see right, well, where can you see it? Right here. That's not that far. Sometimes when I spin using my cake spinner, you know, we get out there and sometimes even a little bit in the floor. So I'm liking that. Okay, woo, we're getting the boulders now. Okay, Erica Hughes, I see you. I'm liking the spinner. This is very nice. I'm very glad I got this, guys. And while this is developing, let me show you what else I got. Look at this one, guys. Look at this cutie patootie. It's the mini. And sometimes I do pours that are only on like 10 by 10s, 8 by 8s, 12 by 12. So this is actually perfect for that. And isn't it adorable? Anyway, I think it's so cute. I love it. Okay, let's give it another spin. And look, I love that these are holding it in place. We're not worrying about this flying off. Okay. We are just almost to our edges over here. And I think that's what I want to do. I want to spin until it goes off. I've got plenty of paint left to do that. I could take and scoop up a little bit of the drips and do it, but I kind of want to let it do it naturally. So I'm going to give it another spin. Okay, now that spin kind of made things stretch quite a bit and everything is getting huge in here. I'm getting a lot of boulders. So I think I'm gonna call it done. I don't want it to stretch the design any more than it already is. So I'm gonna let this dry. And it's still going to continue to develop as it's drying a little bit. Some of the air bubbles that are trapped underneath will still come and it'll develop possibly some more little cells. So I'm going to put this one to bed. We'll let it dry and I'll show you those dried results here in a sec. Well, good morning, everyone. I am up early taking a look here at our painting. And it is not quite dry yet, so I don't want to move it too much for you. But you can see it turned out really nice. It did get a little puffier. We have more cells that have come up there in the center. And it's really hard to see on camera, but there is a pretty shimmer to it from our Piggies, Sapphire and Taffy. I'm seeing a lot of the Sapphire through here. So my next step for this, after it's completely dry, will be to either resin or varnish it. But I like for my paint to cure first because you don't want anything disrupting your varnish. A lot of the paint brands actually recommend waiting about 3 weeks for your paint to fully dry and cure. So that's what I will do. But I think it turned out pretty decent. I like that it kind of has the 3D effect with the dark and the light. So everyone, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time down on the canvas.